My name is Eden Yadigar, and I am a junior at Columbia University and the daughter of American immigrants who fled Iran 45 years ago to escape the life-threatening anti-Semitism that infected their country. But I am horrified that the same Jew hate that drove my family to the US has become normalized here. The Jews yelled at visibly Jewish friends of mine on multiple separate occasions.
We are Hamas!
So I waited a while to respond to this Iran missile attack on Israel because honestly, I didn't know what was real, was not real, what was fake news, was not fake news, what was propaganda, what was not propaganda.
I saw this. This was a picture of yesterday's assault on Israel. I'm gonna go ahead and read some comments here, guys. When Israel turn Iran inside out, those celebrating will be the first to wail and cry. We wait. End days. Shit is about to go down. You are not ready for the truth. And the truth is that most people that looked at this picture believed that it was real. And they had to put a community note saying that it wasn't true. It's crazy.
Weirdly enough, like even though the mainstream media was reporting on it, it didn't seem like they were putting these giant alarms around it like they did the Gaza attack and then the response to that. So I was like, I was really just like, let me just wait, sit on it and see what's really happening. So there are people in two camps. There are some people who feel like this was a true threat and that there is a war on the horizon, even though I believe Biden came out and said like, look, we don't want nothing to do with this, but people did say like, oh, this is gonna start like another world war. And then other people feel like this was just performative, like Iran was getting pressure from, I don't know, Islamic states or Islamic people or their community or maybe international communities to respond to the overreaching attack on Gaza from Israel or overreaching attack onto Palestinians and civilians from Israel, that they were kind of getting pressure to respond. So they sort of gave them this sort of pandering performative thing to sort of quiet them down because apparently they gave Israel like 72 hours warning.
By the way, the US denies this for some reason. They deny the fact that there was a 72-hour warning, but all other publications, even Israeli publications, said that they did, so take that for what it is.
And apparently these were like slow moving drones that were easily blocked and easily shot down by Israel defense, even though Israel defense like military or Israel's military is very high advanced. It still felt like Iran was basically throwing them a softball or some sorts. So those are like the two camps. I don't really know. I didn't really make this video to like break down exactly what's going on in Iran and Israel and the Middle East because I don't know all the details and I'm not going to break down all the details. You can go do that yourself or get all your news from TikTok like most Gen Zs these days. The thing that I've been kind of seeing creeping up is sort of course more of these pro-Palestinians or anti-Israel protests that's been ongoing but ramped up since the Iran attack or the Iran missile strike. We've all seen the viral video of them blocking, I believe, the Golden State Bridge in San Francisco or California, just sort of interrupting everyday people's lives who have nothing to do with the Middle Eastern world war, has nothing to do with Israel-Palestine.
Following some breaking news on the West Coast, traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco was shut down for hours in both directions today.
Once again, these protests don't really do anything but frustrate people and probably make your cause look worse or turn people against your cause. But there was this other video that was going around where people were yelling like, death to America.
Meanwhile, in New York City.
What do you think about USA? When I think about the USA, it should burn! Death to America!
He burnt the US flag.
Oh, shit! Your shirt! Death to America!
What do you think about them burning the American flag?
I love it. Burn it down. Burn it again and again and again.
Anit-America! Anit-America! Anit-America!
Such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth.
And that's kind of my point of this video, is that this is not all the pro-Palestinian protesters or so-called activists, but they just hashtag in their bio and then think that deems them activists. There's a lot of like underlying reasons why I feel like people are claiming to be pro-Palestinian or anti-Israel or or, you know, saviors or screaming for the safety or the saving of the Palestinians. I think one of them is that people are anti-Semitic. Like, you can sit there and say, like, no, that's not really true. People are just pointing out the flaws of Israel or the flaws of the Jewish community, and oh, they're just evil and they're shutting people down and they're quieting people up. And maybe that's the case in some sense, but there's also people who are just truly anti-Semitic.
My name is Eden Yadigar, and I am a junior at Columbia University, double majoring in Middle East Studies and Jewish Studies. I am 20 years old and the daughter of American immigrants who fled Iran 45 years ago to escape the life-threatening anti-Semitism that infected their country. I am grateful to be a student at Columbia, but I am horrified that the same Jew hate that drove my family to the US has become normalized here. It is pervasive in classrooms, across campus, in student groups, and online. This semester, I am unable to complete my Middle East Studies major, as intended, because the only course offered about Israel is taught by the professor who referred to the massacre and rape of innocent people, of young women just like me, as stunning, astonishing, awesome, jubilant achievement. We are ostracized, mocked, harassed, assaulted, and scapegoated because of our identities. The Jews yelled at visibly Jewish friends of mine on multiple separate occasions. Online, Columbia students suggested labeling local shops that support Israel's right to exist, quote, with a Star of David. Is this 1938 or 2024? A law professor recently advocated for the removal of Israeli students from campus. Another professor claimed to be with Hamas days before Columbia extended him a, quote, warm welcome in January. We have been attacked with sticks outside of our library. We have been surrounded by angry mobs, and we have been threatened to, quote, keep running.
We are Hamas!
You're Hamas, wow. That's a good one. You're what? You're Hamas?
Yes, we're all Hamas! Get the our face! No!
There are people who truly just have hate in their heart towards not just Israel, but the Jewish community, and they found something to sort of hide under and sort of creep and like almost poison the well of the people who are just truly pro-Palestinians or pro-ceasefire or pro-anti-genocide. Not that I'm saying Israel commits genocide, but this pro-anti-genocide or just anti-genocide. It's weird to say pro-anti-genocide, but there are people who are truly just anti-Semitic who have just like weaseled their way into these communities, and now they have sort of a hashtag or a banner to hide under. And if you criticize them, then they just throw out the sort of like, oh my God, the scary Jews are coming to get us, and shut down our freedom of speech sort of conspiracy. I'm not saying that's never the case, but people kind of use that a lot just to give them sort of like free range to be severely anti-Semitic and throw out anti-Semitic tropes and basically like Hitler anti-Jewish propaganda. And then there's other people that are hiding under the pro-Palestinian protest banner who are just anti-American. Even though they refuse to leave America, they don't want to leave America, they're not getting on planes and flying over to Palestine or Gaza to help their fellow people out. They're not doing anything about removing themselves from America, but they hate America and they're anti-American. And one of the reasons why they simply are pro-Palestinian is because of the Israel and US alliance. If it was reversed, then I think they would be pro-Israel, anti-Palestine. If America had a strong alliance with Palestine, I think it's the same reason why a lot of these people are pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia. Even though America and Russia have had a tentative relationship, there has been a stronger tie to Russia than it has been Ukraine when it comes to American politics and American trade and oil and stuff like that. So I think some of it is just like they're just anti-America. You can't sit there and say there's no anti-Semitic people there when they're literally saying like death to the and river to the sea and all these very anti-Semitic tropes. Yes, some of them are just mindless, useful idiots who are just like repeating whatever they're told to repeat or repeat whatever their protest slogan is.
If you've ever encountered those Zionist freaks, whether they be Iranian or whatever, all right? So you're going to say, Marg Bar. Marg Bar. Marg Bar Israel. Marg Bar Israel. Marg Bar Israel. Marg Bar Israel.
But again, there are some true anti-Semitics in these protests or in these groups, in these tribes. However, do I think that means that Netanyahu and the Israeli military have not vastly overstepped when it comes to the response to the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack? Hell yes. It is a gross overstatement, I guess. Like, the amount of innocent Palestinian civilians, women and children who are dying needlessly, because I personally do think there is a better way, a more efficient way, and a smarter way to go after Hamas. Like, yes, Hamas might be hiding under their own citizens. There's no secret that Hamas themselves don't care about Palestinians or Palestinian lives, but I do think that with the advanced military tactics that Israeli possess, there could be better ways to go after him. That's not going to be the cost of so many Palestinians and the destruction of so much land. So I'm not, caping for them either. At least the Netanyahu and the people in his camp, not caping for them. But for Israeli citizens, I don't think they have anything to do with this, because just like most Americans don't have so much power and control over the decisions of their government, I don't think Israelis do either. There is another conversation to be had about the whole Iron Dome with the missile attacks, because a lot of people are like not taking it seriously, that there is just like literally just like constant rain of missiles raining down of Israel like 24/7 is kind of like almost like shrugged off, because it's like, well, nothing really happened, there was no damage, no one really died except one little girl, or I think she was injured at least, because they have this Iron Dome. I think there's another conversation to be had, but should they have to live under an Iron Dome? Like, it's not literally iron, but you know what I mean. It's like the violence and the threat of life is not being taken seriously to an individual because they have a 20-foot steel wall. Well, they have a 20-foot steel wall, so why should we care that people are constantly trying to kill them? It's like, shouldn't we have the conversation that there are people trying to kill them and just not ignore that just because they can afford the protection? You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't have to live behind a 20-foot steel wall, and I don't think Israelis should have to live behind and underneath an Iron Dome. Like, that should also be a conversation to be had, but people constantly like dismiss it because they have it, so it's like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. But it's like, it's kind of a big deal. That really shouldn't be dismissed. Again, you can talk about the history of Israel and all that stuff, but the citizens who live today have nothing to do with that. So, like, why should they have to live under Iron Dome? You know what I mean? Maybe it's the fault of two sides here, but I'm kind of sick of people like dismissing that because they have an Iron Dome. It's like someone walking around with a bulletproof vest is not being taken seriously, that they're constantly being shot because they have a bulletproof vest. Instead of being like, they shouldn't have to walk around with a bulletproof vest. Anywho, guys, that's it. I don't want to make the video too long. But let me know what you guys think of this whole Iran thing and the pro-Palestinian thing and the Gaza thing. And I know I threw a lot in this video, but I just kind of wanted to tit-tat and touch a couple of the different things. I haven't talked about it in a while. But let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. That really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you guys support the channel, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the comment section down below. And you can super thanks. And you guys have an amazing, beautiful day.